I'm going to start with a calm note, because I know a lot of you have been hesitating when it comes to picking a UPS for a small server rack or a serious home office. The real question isn't, how many VA does it have, but will this unit actually keep my work running when the power flickers? And will it do it without draining my budget, or taking a whole day to set up? If you're thinking about a UPS that can sit on a rack, give you Sinewave output, and let you watch its status from a phone, the CyberPower PR1500RT2UCN is the model I've been digging into. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First, let's talk about the environment where this unit makes sense. I've spoken with a handful of IT freelancers who run a couple of virtual machines on a mini ITX server, and a few home-based video editors who keep a 4-port workstation running while they're editing 4K footage. Both groups share a common pain point. A brief outage can corrupt files, and a prolonged brownout can shut down drives mid-write, leading to data loss that may take weeks to recover. The PR1500RT2UCN is a 1500 VA 1500W Sinewave UPS, which means it supplies clean, utility-grade power that mimics the smooth waveform of the grid. That matters because the devices these users rely on, especially the newer CPUs and SSDs, are more sensitive to voltage irregularities. In practice, that translates to a smoother shutdown, less chance of boot loop failures, and cleaner power for long-running applications. Now, the real-world side of the setup. The unit is a 2U chassis, so it slides into a standard rack just like you'd expect from a data center piece, but it also works as a tower if you don't have a rack handy. The 8 NEMA 515R outlets are a mix of battery-backed and surgeonly ports. From what I've seen, the first 4 outlets are battery-supported, which is where you'd plug your server, monitor, and any critical networking gear. The remaining 4 are surgeonly and ideal for peripherals like printers, or a UPS-friendly UPS controller. The built-in LCD panel is rotatable, which helps if you mount the unit front-facing or sideways. No need to crane a ladder to read the status. The panel shows load percentage, battery time remaining, and alerts, all of which can be pushed to the CyberPower Smart app. That app syncs to the cloud, so even if you're away from the office you can see whether the battery is still healthy or if the unit has taken a hit from a power event. One of the biggest hidden trade-offs with a UPS of this size is the weight and runtime balance. At full load 1500W, the unit can only sustain about 2 minutes, which is enough to trigger an orderly shutdown, but not enough to keep a workstation running for a long stretch. That's typical for a Sinewave UPS in this class, but it does mean you need a reliable shutdown script or a UPS manager that can initiate a graceful power-off. If you were hoping to ride through a lengthy outage, you'd need a larger battery bank or a generator. On the other side of the balance, if you plan to run it at 20–30% load, the runtime jumps to roughly 20–30 minutes, more than sufficient for saving work and safely powering down. The practical advice I give to buyers is, size your load conservatively. In my testing, a single mini ITX server with a 250W PSU, a monitor, and a modest router used about 300W total, leaving plenty of cushion for the UPS to last 15 to 20 minutes during an outage. Another practical strength is the automatic voltage regulation, AVR. Many entry-level UPS units simply shut down when voltage drops below a certain threshold, but the PR1500RT2UCN will actively boost low voltage and trim high voltage before the battery even needs to engage. For users in areas with frequent sags or spikes, this means the UPS can keep the equipment running without dipping into battery power at every minor fluctuation. That not only extends battery life, but also reduces wear on the internal components. In my discussion with a small business owner who experienced daily brownouts, the AVR feature alone saved them from having to replace a UPS every 6 months, as would happen with a on-off only model. Of course, no unit is without drawbacks. The first thing that pops up in the manual is the proprietary RIM card 205 battery, which is pre-installed and covered under the 3-year warranty, batteries included. That's a plus for peace of mind, but the downside is you can't swap the battery out with a standard sealed lead-acid pack if you want to extend the unit's life beyond 3 years. When the warranty expires, a replacement battery will cost a bit more than a generic pack, and you'll need a service tech to replace it. For users who like to keep hardware fully in their own hands, that could be a sticking point. Another nuance is the cloud monitoring subscription. The smart app itself is free, but the deeper analytics like historical power event logs and remote shutdown commands live behind a subscription tier. If you simply need